Welcome to Unmasking African Truths. I am your host, Opalisa. Our insights are always aimed to assist you, Mameli, with a better understanding of your African indigenous spirituality. If you have missed on our previous conversations, please do go to our YouTube channel, African Hidden Voices, subscribe, leave a comment, and like. Today we want to discuss the confusion that is surrounding religion and African indigenous spirituality. Abantu abaningi always assume ukuthi when you speak religion, you are speaking spirituality, but that is not always the case. As sazi ukuthi na emhlabeni i-religions ezinkulu ezikhoyo Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Namhlanje we want to look at religion, Christianity, for a discussion here too namhlanje. I-Christianity mayifika e-Africa abantu abamnyama bepractice i-spirituality sabo benayo okanye benabo ubudlelwano with their spiritual supreme being bambiza umveli inqangi uThixo Modimi. And when Christianity was brought to Africa, it promised a personal salvation after death, and for you to only get that salvation you had to believe in the religious figure, which is Jesus Christ. My figure a religion in Africa, the people already practicing their own indigenous spirituality. Now umbuzo uti, what was so different between Christianity and African indigenous spirituality? Scholars all over the world have done research on African indigenous spirituality, and babona ukuthi ukhona mkhulu umehluko between religion nayo African indigenous spirituality. As always, andambi ndedwa, ndamba nayo imbono Dr. Uzulezwe Rhadebe ozasinceda for us to unpack this conversation yanamhlanje. But before ndifaka imboni, who is a qualified indigenous spiritual guide, a qualified theologian and a qualified herbalist, I want to share with you a study that we found on Akan Academy. Christianity developed in the province of Judea, out of Jewish tradition in the 1st century CE, and it spread through European empire and eventually became its official religion. Christianity was influenced by the historical context which it developed. Christianity was based first on the teachings of Jesus and later on the writings and missionary work of Paul. Paul was one of the disciples of Jesus Christ. Now, apart from the study, Christianity was sampled from Judaism. So Christianity did not originate from Jesus Christ. It was sampled. Now, umbuzo uti, why was it so important to remove abantu abamnyama from African indigenous spirituality and introduce religion to the African people? When Jesus still lived, wathetha wathi akazanga ukuzochitha practices zamandulo, akazanga ukuzochinja practices zamandulo, kodwa uze ukuzogcwalisela practices zamandulo nemfundiso zamandulo. Gogo umbuzo uthi, kutheni Christianity yathi mayifika in Africa yafuna ukuchitha the practices and the teachings of the African indigenous people? Ndizawungena ke kuyo imboni ndiyibuze ndithi, Tata, as a qualified theologian and an African indigenous spiritual guide, why were the actions of Christian missionaries a contradiction to la mazwi akhitshwa, or rather the supposed words that were said by Jesus Christ? When he said, do not think that I came to abolish the law of the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but I have come to fulfill them.
Yeah, masibingelele kibo bonke abasilaleli namhlanje. Of course, I think going back the argument raised ngabantu that religion has been something originator in Africa, or certain religions, especially mhlambi Christianity. It's a myth, and I will tell you manje mlaleli, most of abantu abakhuluma lezo zinto, they don't know what they are talking about. They've at least abenzanga even proper researches, not talking about Google research, proper researches abazenzanga. Like for example, they like to give this argument of Ethiopia. And Ethiopia ibonisa iBhayibheli zakuthiwa iBhayibheli yakudala, it's very very old, it's what century. Babheka lezo zinto at face value. You must remember that also, sikhuluma ngalo context leyo, that a lot of religions, including Christianity, in fact, they paid a lot of archaeologists in the past, bababhatala imali ezinkulu in the past, for them to go and dig up things. ezizo abazobuya nazo as archaeologists to say nangama facts and proofs that the religion exists none. So in short kukhona ukuscama nokuthile in religion, but I'm not there now. So mawuzothatha uGoogle vele ungene, you will find a lot of those kind of posts that are actually promoted by certain religions to justify the religions. It's not a fact. Ama religions onke came to Africa. Africa did not have religions. This is now a proper fact. And Gikuluma, not as a researcher, but I speak having a research organization and myself having been involved in certain investigations or certain researches, especially going to Egypt and finding things as a proper literature, not Google research or Facebook. And so, religion is not from Africa. Full stop. One can, if yabona kukhona ufuna iqiniso, kukhona ukuthi ufuna into ezokujustify. Mawufuna iqiniso, you'll find religion is not from Africa. All religions, Christianity, Islam, zizile Africa. Now you ask a question, why Christianity came? Yenza contrary to what even ibhaliwe. Of course, religion itself, you must look at religion itself. Religion is a system, like a political system. Politics, it's a system. Religion, it's a system. So if was the question 80, then the system itself, injani operator kanjani. When you study the system of religion, ukuthi operator kanjani, throughout history of mankind, you will see ukuthi conclusion ozoza nayo. Ma study shay system, uzoyibona ukuthi kahle religion it's ihambisana noku dominator, ihambisana noku divide and rule. Like you had your apartheid system, kabantu abamnyama divide and rule, this divide and rule us. In a divide and rule, but above all, in religion, it's about power. That is why when I term religion, I always say, in religion and politics, good brother and sister. They can't separate. And that's why, actually, many politicians, they are and religious leaders. About that, we call that bad competition between them. And the reason why, it's because of they are just brothers and sisters. They are both systems that were created to rule. And if you look at when Christianity left Israel and it went to Rome, by the way, ayizambelanga akuvangelwanga yanjiswa nguConstantine no mamake. They are the ones who actually took it from Israel, which was a very small religion, by the way, very, very small practice. By Rome, it gained popularity because Constantine was powerful. Why implement actually key beliefs zabo ezazikhona before? Why mix na le lokhuzana le religion lena, then kula gain khona prominence ne power. But Constantine, of course, when he took Christianity there, his intention was never about salvation or what. Intention was about control. He was using it as a weapon. Ukuthi imuphe amandla amaningi and secure his dominance. And remember, in the past, it was not about you uhlale Joburg or you being a president of South Africa. In the past, it was about conquering. You had to get more land. You had to get subdue more enemies, subdue other kingdoms. That's how you gain power and become powerful. Bengekho lento ukuthi uhlale endaweni yakho and watch over your things. So he wanted to use religion in terms of as religion yendlele iyo vele for dominance. He saw that it's something that people believed in and he can use it for dominance. And he polished Rome and he took over. Now you will see whenever they also conquered, they always put the cross. When you look at the sign of the cross, it's a sign of death and life. But the sign of the cross actually is not. The sign of the cross is a sign of conquering. Now you'll watch, I think, Opatamias and all these colonizers must figure at the Western Cape, at Cape Point. And I would urge our viewers to research these things. Niziyele ngokwakho zikhona iphambano. So bathi mabefika lapha eCape Point la eSouth Africa to conquer. Into yokuqala bayibeka iziphambano. Because this phambano did not mean life and it simply meant we have conquered land out. Isiphambano lasikhona for bona meant we have conquered land out. So that's That's what a religion is, generally speaking. Not only Christianity, most religions, they are about conquering. They are about power. So, the reason why, if you look at conversion, the first converts of abantu abamnyama when religion came, and by the way, laba abafuna ukubuza ukuthi Christianity yafika njani, there are a lot of debates between two places, but to know what it came through Egypt. I was there through the Coptic Church. The Coptic Church, Youngnas Skatman will explain another day, his story. But and then also, it also came through Ethiopia, through this king, in a family, forgot his name, the king. There's this king who accepted, why spread. It was easier for kings to spread, but they had more power. That's how Christianity came. It came through these two places in Africa. Yeah, that's why you can date it back a lot in Egypt and date it back a lot in Ethiopia. That's why abazokutshela ngeBhayibheli zakudala. Manje umuntu omnyama ngoba phela uthanda lento. Makuthiwa leBhayibheli, Christian Bible is the oldest Bible. Of course, it came when Christianity came. That's the argument. It's not ukuthi yazalwa lapho la Bhayibheli. Because the religion was never there in the beginning. It just dates back because these are the first places where Christianity came. Dala. First countries that it came through in Africa. And then now if you look at now Christianity then came. It conquered umuntu omnyama manje mawubheka i-first converts zethu abantu abamnyama. Akusingabantu like today. You go to church, kuthiwa kuwe yamkela, lahla believe. No. Again, sinayo indawo here in South Africa, Cape Town, ongaya kuyo uyobuza bazokupha proper information that when Jan van Riebeeck came, who by the way was not a missionary even, was just a businessman, but everybody those days, they had the weapon called religion. They had to have it because it was the only way to conquer. He converted people, baba faka phakathi emajele lapho amnyama, bababulala abanye babo, who refused to accept the religion. Jan van Riebeeck came with the Bible, yes, Dutch. And he taught black people this Dutch, not for the love of another language, just for them to read this book. Kenkani. There was no love affair there. There was hatred affair actually. But Uba teacher this Dutch, not that he learned this my language, understand this book. Why must you understand the book? He knew after understanding this book, the conquering will be easier. Labo, their ancestors there refused to ulahla ibelief yabo, baba bulala. So the first converts in Africa, and in most Africa, they were killed. They were never converted by the spirit. They were killed. Why were they killed? The religion is about conquering. So namanje maungabuya kimboni, spiritually gifted spiritual guiders of Africa who guided through African indigenous spirituality. Now these spiritual guiders like amakhosi amandulo awebulawo. It's a pity today. Masikhuluma nge history. We are more on the political side. We are more on the killings of the kings, who were like the presidents of the past. We are more on the Masizagule era on the killings of politicians. But less is spoken about the killings of spiritual people. Babe bulawelani, babe bulawela lokho ukuthi manje phela bona, babe promoter i-beliefs zabo. And these ones were coming and saying, no, you need to receive this belief. Yes, ngoba ingcono kunale yenu and whatever they nina ningamadimoni. Those things were there in the past. Ningamahedeni wrong, yeni yethi right. But not only that, but about the conquering part of it. Because they knew if people don't accept the religion, they are not going to accept anything from bona, bazobasusa. And lastly, ask yourself this question, ongumlaleli nombukeli. Why is it that imboni zakwantu through spiritual guiders, imboni zakwantu mandulo, they all warned us of abantu abazayo? Babeza nani laba bantu? Yini lento babeza nayo? And why did they warn us about bona? Yini lento ababantu babeza nayo in Africa? It was a religion. So if they were bringing something good for us, to be bad, imboni zakwantu were supposed to not warn us, to say to us, please, bayeza laba bantu, they are bringing the right belief system.
Sibonga kakhulu kuyo lo ncazelo yemboni. I-topic yethu yanamhlanje was quite interesting, but because of time asinokwazi ukuqhubeka nayo i-topic yethu. Mameli nawe mbukeli emakhaya njengoba siyichazile imboni ukuthi nawe mameli emakhaya njengoba siyichazile imboni ukuthi do you research about your Africa, do you research about your spirituality? Please do just again kuleveke ezayo. Siyabonga.